Their campaigns are dead, but their spending very much alive.
Tonight, KHOU 11 investigates so-called zombie campaigns. Former politicians making questionable purchases with their campaign funds.
Investigative reporter Jeremy Rogowski is here now with a look at what he found. Jeremy?
Well, from fine dining to putting family members on the payroll, the campaign cash keeps flowing, even though these lawmakers were voted out of office, retired, or even died.
After running for president and losing 6 years ago, Texas Congressman Ron Paul left office with a large leftover campaign fund.
Hey, Dr. Paul. Hey, catch up with you for a sec.
But try asking him about what he's done with all of that money.
Wanted to ask you a question or two about your campaign account spending, sir. Did you just have a moment?
It was radio silence outside Paul's office, where he usually loves to talk. On his daily YouTube show, the Ron Paul Liberty Report.
And true freedom will only be a memory.
Paul's own nonprofit produces the show, and his campaign piggy bank has helped fund it. Nearly $300,000 since he left office. Even Paul's daughter, Lori Payette, made money from the campaign war chest, $83,000 as the nonprofit's vice president, and $40,000 as treasurer of her dad's campaign that was dead.
I think it smells to me.
It doesn't pass the smell test at this local diner, where the coffee is strong.
I think his daughter should work for somebody else.
And so are political opinions.
It's not fair to those who contributed.
These guys are like putting the fox in the hen house.
There are federal rules against personal use of campaign cash, but personal is narrowly defined. And while retired lawmakers are encouraged to wind down campaign accounts within 6 months, you have cases like former Texas Congressman Jim Turner.
This is the wrong direction from America.
He has close to $900,000 in his campaign war chest today, but hasn't held office since 2004.
It's been more than a dozen years.
I've always felt that I might have an opportunity to run for office again.
In the meantime, Turner's campaign account paid $10,000 to a nonprofit his daughter runs, $14,000 in rent for an office at his family's construction business, and $30,000 to campaign treasurer Mrs. Virginia Turner, his wife.
It's perfectly legal and appropriate so long as your family members being paid a fair market wage.
Why would you need an office if you're no longer running for office?
Well, you still have all of your records, your books.
Can't you just keep them at home? Why would you need to pay yourself?
I wasn't paying myself, I was paying the corporation that my father owns.
That kind of spending raises red flags with campaign watchdogs like SMU professor Cal Jilson.
It is always important to remember that the laws governing office holder use of funds are written by office holders, and so they write them loose.
So they can spend fast and loose. There's former Texas Congresswoman Shelley Sekula Gibbs, who bought herself a lifetime membership to the NRA, or Henry Bonilla from Texas, who spent more than $4,000 on car rental and meals at the exclusive Capitol Hill Club.
Either you're writing it out of your own pocket or from a campaign fund that's left over, and it's from you, so it really doesn't matter.
It doesn't even matter that campaign cash keeps flowing after lawmakers have died. In one case, a political advisor to the late Mark Takai of Hawaii paid himself more than $100,000 as treasurer and consultant to a dead man's campaign.
But there are a lot of people who, if nobody's watching them and there aren't going to be any consequences, are going to do what they can get away with. If you have a system where the cop is not on the beat, people are going to abuse the system.
Now we reached out to former Congresswoman Sekula Gibbs as well as Ron Paul's daughter. We have not heard back. And as for who is supposed to police all of this, well, that's the Federal Election Commission. But an FEC spokesperson would not address why the agency has not investigated any of the cases we mentioned, but he said he's not ruling out the possibility of opening up future investigations, so we'll have to see.
People talk about folks taking advantage, low-income folks taking advantage of the welfare system. This is on the upper end, taking advantage of the system.
We'll see what happens.
All right, thank you.